Do some ketchup on this Mustang right now. So, got the headers, taking them all out of the box. Collectors, everything, they came out really, really nice. So, I'm gonna put the carburetor on it. I'm gonna take this off. We have the this, okay. You guys want part numbers, okay. Throttle bracket, ARP bolts, okay. Take that off. I'm going to take this tape off of here. Finally mount this carburetor on here so we could get this on. And we got to work on getting throttle linkage hooked up to it. Finish up these brakes. Alright. So once we stick these headers in here, this thing will be going 1, 2, 3. We already fit everything, and it's a matter of just putting it all back on. Alright, show you what we're doing with this. Alright, got them in there. They look real nice. Alright, and what we'll do is we'll get it back up and put the collectors on the bottom and then tighten everything up. Put the steering shaft back in it and good to go. Alright, so I'm going to put in the rest of these lines. I just got off the phone with Strange Engineering, so it's definitely drag racing. This one in the front. So this is going down to the line lock. One's going to go to this side front brake. One's going to go to the other side front brake. So I'm installing these. I got this side done. So that's what that looks like. Okay, 2 rivets, got a little stainless steel bracket. You got a fitting that goes from steel braided line, right, to a regular 3/16 line, and then this fitting in here goes to the caliper, and this steel line goes to that. Okay, so these are AN lines, and then this is a 3/16 regular, regular flare line. So that goes up and back over. All right, so I'm gonna go put the other side on, and then I'm gonna run the line from there all the way around to the passenger side. All right, so this is basically what it looks like. So you got, that's an old bolt. So that's the fitting. That's the lock for it. Once you put it in place, this is the bracket. Okay, bracket's gonna go up here like that. Drill 2 holes, 3/16 rivets, and then you'll be able to hook that up. So this line, this steel braided line, gets hooked up to that. All right, get okay. All right, so got the car back in here on the lift. Got the one hose ran on that side, got the other one run on the other side. We're going to run the other line up and around along this radiator support and back up. And we're going to put these collectors on so you can see how nice these headers look. Sweet looking. Right? Like I said, you kind of leave them, you hook them all in, leave everything loose. Right? Now you could fit them on. I'm going to put a little anti-seize stuff on them on the inside, just a little rub on each one. Not that they're gonna rust, but you never know. It's easier to take them on and off if you got to get them off. All right, and then we got some stainless steel hardware, nuts and bolts, washers to lock them all in place. All right, so let me put them on and I'll show you what they look like when it's all done. Get some light under here too. All right. That looks good. All right, I'm going to get this other side on. So just showing you, we use this, any kind of this anti-seize copper graphite or whatever. You put a nice thin coat on there like that. You don't have to worry about them locking up together from the heat on and off, whatever. But they work. They work. I like that stuff. Works good. Use that for spark plugs also, aluminum heads, spark plugs like that. Don't use regular anti-seize. It doesn't conduct And you can't put a lot of this stuff on when you do spark plugs, just so you know. Anyway, going back to this. All right, so I'm going to finish putting this other side on, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. All right. They look real good. In here like that. Lots of ground clearance. So this thing is sitting real nice. That's all done. All right, now I'm going to put the starter in it. And then I can tie these lines up out of the way. And that's it. Now we can start putting it all back together. Put the radiator in, put all this stuff in it. And I'm going to run this brake line real quick, everything while it's on the lift. And then we'll move it back into the other room. All right, quick thing before you put the starter in. This is, this thing looks used, but whatever. Okay, anyway. It's a Power Master, right? On these, you can clock where you want this thing to sit. And the way you clock it is, it's got these two little Allen head bolts in here. So you would loosen those up and you'd be able to turn this. So I just tightened it up because it was loose. So obviously maybe somebody moved it. So you got to make sure that's tight. And I've had 2 of these where they literally, I mean, after running a lot, I guess, but you got to check them because they might vibrate loose. All right. So right now this one's nice and tight. We got it clocked where we want it. All right, got plenty of clearance all around everywhere. And that's the end of that. Okay, so I got to see what this is. There's something don't look right here. I'm going to figure this out. Yeah. Okay. That is not factory, I can tell you that. So this is the trigger, and this is hot. So somebody had this wired where they would just power it up like from a, yeah, that's not factory. Okay, so I'm going to take that back off. Good thing I just saw that. So we're going to wire this so you don't have to run a separate solenoid. This has its own built-in solenoid. So this would be from the key, and the start, you know, the crank position is this one. This is hot all the time. All right, let me get this thing off of here, and then I'll mount the starter in the car. All right. Yeah, that looks like a homemade deal. We're definitely not using that thing. All right, so this gets a 7mm, little 7mm wrench, and this gets a 1/2 inch. Okie dokie. I'm gonna put that back together and mount it in the car. Oh, I just came back from picking one of these up. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to drill a little hole right in this part of the tranny. Nice and thick right there. And then I'll mount that and mount that just like that so it keeps it away from the header. And then all this will be mounted like that. Okay? So we're going to drill a hole, 1/4 inch, and then tap it. Make sure I got the right where it's going to sit. So that's going to go like that. And it'll go right there like that. Beautiful. Okay. Cool. Right there. Don't matter. It could go all the way through. All right. Nice tap. Get that together in there. And a lock washer. Okay. Like that. Push these like that. Beautiful. And then this could be all tied to that so it don't move. This is gonna get tied to that so it don't move. Then we could tighten all that crap and we're done. All right, this is done. Starter's in. Got plenty of access for the starter. It's not even close to the headers. It's nice. So, and then when we wire everything, we'll run all the wires this way down and everything into the car. Be wiring it after we're done with the cage. So, because there'll be a lot of welding and stuff going on in there, so we don't want to melt stuff or catch stuff on fire. All right, so we're gonna let it down. We could put, I'm gonna run these two brake line, that one more brake line, and then we can get the brakes all set up. The front brakes anyway. The rear brakes, I'm gonna put a plug in the master cylinder so we can bleed everything. And then when he gets his rear and the rear brakes, then we can just plumb it right into it. So I'll get this out of the way. The other thing. All right, so we got this thing bench bled, and then I got a plug on that one. All right, I'm gonna put this back in place, and then got the other line run for the other side. That's all on. I'm gonna hook this line back up here. We'll be able to bleed the front brakes. Get this piece back on and then I'll show you what I'm doing. Alright, so master cylinder's mounted. I got the little rubber boot in there for the piston. Got the lines hooked up, one going in, and then the two coming out. Go underneath and button everything up, open the bleeders up, and let this start draining. So we can gravity bleed it first. And then we'll pump the pedal up and get a front brake pedal. All right, so the brake lines are all in. I put some little rubber vacuum line around them where they're gonna, if they would touch anything. I got the tranny line all tied up. I should have did that when I was on the lift. I just let it down and took the lift out of the way. Got the radiator in place. All that's all done. Got a nice good brake pedal. So now, basically, this has got a plug in it, but it's bled to this point. So the only thing you would have to do now is when we put the rear in it, run the line for the rear, and then tap right into this, and that's your rear brakes. So that's that. So now I can finish putting. We're gonna make up the hoses, upper and lower hose. I got to get a gasket for the carburetor. And then the carburetor and the carburetor throttle linkage and all that. I can hook all that up, hook the pedal up. Get that all done. Right now I'm going to put it back in the other shop. We're going to put it back in that bay so that we can finish up all this other stuff. And we can start doing a cage. So we got all the interior out of it. I'm going to do the cage next. Waiting on a dashboard. Got a carbon fiber dash coming. And we're going to wire the doors so the windows will go up and down. And then after the cage is done, we'll do all the wiring. So the plumbing is done, except for wiring the fuel pump. But that's about that. All right, so all the tranny lines are all run, the fittings are all done, the cooler's all on. So get it in the other room and start working on these hoses. Headers all fit real nice. See that? Nice fit. All right, let's move it out of here.